everyone and welcome to another episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Velvet Buzzsaw. Now if you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. Velvet Buzzsaw is a very fun concept for a movie. I do feel though at points the execution, if you'll pardon the pun, of this film did let it down, but nonetheless Velvet Buzzsaw is just a ball of craziness. It's like Final Destination meets The Ring meets bloody Art Attack. It's just all out craziness, and as I say, I did enjoy this movie. It just definitely has a lot of issues with it, but one of the shining lights, the shining beacons of this movie is obviously Jake Gyllenhaal and his performance. It's just so over the top, so satirical. It was just a whole lot of fun. He really dialed this performance up to like 11 and then some, and it really did work. I thought he was engaging, he was funny, and what I kind of liked about it as well is that he was funny where he wasn't really supposed to be funny. He was a very engaging character and I really like that, and I think the rest of the cast delivered as well. One of the big positives for Velvet Buzzsaw is that it does have this great ensemble cast who can really carry this film alongside Gyllenhaal. You had Toni Collette, who was in this a little bit less than I thought she would have been. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Toni Collette in this movie. I thought she had a very fun character and I felt like we could have had a lot of fun with her going forward, but she's great as always. It was really nice to see Rene Russo. She was brilliant. Again, she had quite a big part in this movie, but I could have seen more of her. I think for me, she was kind of the real focal character for me because as I mentioned, like Gyllenhaal was very over the top and she was as well with her performance in points, but when it got down to the nitty gritty she really like honed it in, and for me she brought a lot of kind of the mystery and suspense to this film, and I think alongside Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo's performance was one of my favourites in this movie. I also thought Zoe Ashton was great and she kind of tied in that trilogy of the three main characters. So you had Gyllenhaal, who was very erratic, very satirical. You had Rene Russo, who was satirical but also at the same time could play very straight, and then you had Zoe Ashton's performance, which again was almost very straight. It wasn't as satirical as the others, and again that just added to the shroud and of mystery around this film and these characters that, yes, we kind of knew them because they were kind of poking fun at society, but at the same time they were always kind of holding something back, and it just added to that mystery, and I really enjoyed that. And one of the things that I also loved about this film is just how crazy it was, and it definitely was a fun kind of craziness that this film had. It really took you on a journey and you didn't know which way the characters or the stories were going to go and where they were going to take you, and although I enjoyed that, it was definitely one of the big problems that I had with this film, is that we didn't know where we were going and it did start to feel a little bit inconsistent in points as well, which was a shame. Don't get me wrong, this movie swings for the fences a lot, and I mean a lot in this film, and in some instances it really works and it's great, but in others it did kind of fall a little bit flat, and it kind of made this film kind of a little bit disjointed, disorientated, clunky. It felt like it started to get wrapped up in itself. It just kind of felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be, which was a shame. As I said, it was just kind of, it wanted to be fun, but it took itself a little bit too seriously as well, and I think my best way of summing up Velvet Buzzsaw is that it was just okay, and that's a real shame to say that this movie that had such a great concept, a great cast, was just okay. And I think for me, how I not would have fixed this movie, but what I would have liked to have seen them do differently was actually have this resolution to this story and actually have it build to a really suspenseful and impactful climax. And because for me, it felt like the film never really got out of second gear. It was like stuff was happening, but we weren't getting a jump in suspense or horror or comedy or anything. It all kind of stayed at one relatively melancholy level, which was a real shame to see, because as I said, they could have had these real spikes and took you on a real journey. But then on the flip side of that, I think as well how they could have change this film is just have it go completely the other way and have it go over the top craziness at every junction. You don't know what's going to happen. We're having people being killed off left, right and centre. Just have all of it be over the top and crazy, and I think it would have stuck in my mind just a little bit better. And as I say, yes, I enjoyed this film, but it was just fine. It's a fine watch, which is a real shame to say, as I say, with such a great concept, such a great cast, and it was just fine. And it upsets me that it was fine. But that is my review of Velvet Buzzsaw. Let me know what you thought about it, as always, down in those comments below. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!